The cabin door groaned against the howling December wind of 1872. Thomas Riley, a man who hadn't laid eyes on a woman in 10 long years, stood frozen as 3 Lakota women appeared on his threshold, drenched and trembling in the Montana Territory's brutal blizzard. Their eyes held desperation in a spark he couldn't ignore. Behind them, the endless plain stretched like a frozen graveyard. Ahead was his cramped 16 by 20-foot shack, 1 room, 1 bed, and a storm that could bury his soul alive. Thomas gripped the frame, staring at Winona, the eldest, her soaked deerskin clinging to her form, chin high despite blue-tinged lips. Her sisters, Lila and young Kaya, huddled close. "Please," Winona whispered in broken English, breath misting the air. "We freeze out here." Thomas had sworn off women to honor his late wife Margaret's memory. Now, 3 strangers begged for shelter in America's unforgiving frontier. What happens when loyalty crashes into raw human need? The question hung heavy as he weighed his vow against their lives. 3 days prior, Thomas had been chopping firewood behind his ranch, 25 miles west of Billings, when the first flakes fell. At 44, he moved with the grim focus of a survivor, every swing precise, every stack gauged against Montana's killer winters. Neighbors dubbed him the recluse of Bitterroot Valley, not mockingly, but with pity. 10 years was too damn long to mourn, they muttered, too long to cling to a ring for a woman 6 feet under prairie sod. But Thomas remembered Margaret's dying plea. "Promise you'll love only me, forever." And he had, God as his witness. The cabin he'd built for their dreams still echoed her touch the quilt she'd sewn by the window, the tin plates from their wedding trip to Helena, the faded photo on the mantel. Margaret in her gown, beaming that smile that tamed a gold rush drifter into a homesteader. Nights he'd twist the gold band, recalling her laugh over stew, how she'd nestle close in storms, the soft sighs winnow, some memories stayed locked away. The territory tested men. Sioux skirmishes kept folks huddled in towns like Billings or Bozeman, but Thomas held out, herding cattle, surviving on salt pork and hardtack, chatting only with the traveling minister monthly. "Thomas," Reverend Hayes had said last Sunday, "solitude ain't faithfulness. Margaret wouldn't want you withered like jerky." But what did he know? He'd never cradled a fevered wife, vowing eternal love with his last breath. Now, as the blizzard hammered his windows with freakish fury, Thomas' new vows faced their trial. The knock came past midnight, faint amid the gale. Thomas grabbed his Winchester. Raiders didn't knock, nor honest men at this hour. Through ice glass, shadows shifted, 3 figures like ghosts. 10 years of isolation teetered. He hesitated, then unlatched the door. They tumbled in, graceful even in exhaustion, 3 Lakota women, kin to a chief's line, fleeing army roundups. Winona spoke first, English choppy but fierce. "We daughters of Black Moon's brother. Soldiers say go to the Dakota reservation. We refuse. We flee." Thomas knew the tales. After the Fetterman fight, troops herded families, tearing them apart like weeds. Lila, the middle one, swayed, her beauty ethereal sharp cheeks, eyes like ancient wells, a healer's poise despite chills. "She's ill," Winona said, nodding to Lila. "Need warmth. Safe." Young Kaya, barely 21, scanned the room. The photo, his ring, signs of endless grief. "Your wife. Pretty," she murmured. Thomas's throat clenched. "She was." Winona's gaze softened. "You know loss." Silence fell, broken by wind and fire. 3 women who'd lost kin, 1 man who'd lost his world. "You can't stay forever," Thomas rasped, fetching blankets. "Patrols ride through. If they catch you, we know risk for you too," Winona replied. Decision made, not by sense, but instinct the same that held Margaret through her end, the honor keeping him true. "Take the bed. I'll floor it." Protests faded in shivers. He turned away as they shed wet hides, whispers in Lakota filling the air. 10 years celibate, one tiny cabin, one endless winter. What could go wrong? By day 4, the storm locked them in like a tomb. The cabin pulsed with new life, alien since Margaret. Lila, fever broken, turned his rations into feasts, her hands magic on mundane fare. Kaya, vibrant and inquisitive, quizzed him on settler ways as tools. His books heard giggles echoing off walls, starved joy. But Winona rattled him deepest, her eyes piercing his avoidance, the tremor when Lila bandaged his axe nick, her touch warm as forgotten sun. On the 4th night, after her sisters slept, Winona sat by him. "You strong man, but heart heavy." She touched her chest. Thomas stared at flames, ignoring her blanket's slip, revealing golden skin. "Some burdens stay. My elder says heart like a stream block it. It floods or dries." She edged closer, the scent of sage and warmth invading. "Your wife wants you empty." The word stabbed. His ring twisted like a noose. "I promise forever. Forever love, not forever alone." Kaya's sleepy voice joined. "In our people, widowers get new wives. Life is too harsh solo." Lila chuckled softly. "You fight nature like a bear trap." Surrounded, Thomas felt walls crack his shrine, thawing into home. Outside, the gale screamed. Inside, desire stirred, buried with Margaret. Day 9's dawn brought gunfire cracks army signals. Thomas surged up, spotting valley smoke. "They're here." Winona gathered kin, eyes steel. "Hide us." He yanked the floor hatch to his root cellar. Quiet, no matter what. Erasing traces extra, cups vanished, scents masked with scorched beans. Riders arrived, 8 troopers under Captain Ellis, a hard Texan Thomas knew from supply runs. "Mornin', Riley," Ellis barked, stomping in. "Coffee." Thomas poured steadily, pulse racing. Nasty patrol weather. Ellis scanned, blankets, furniture, photo. 3 Sioux women bolted the reservation. Armed, dangerous. Dangerous? Thomas echoed. Type that lures good men to ruin. Below, breaths held. Ellis eyed the photo. Widower, right? Tough, losing a lady here. Makes you value law. I do. Ellis leaned in. Duty first, Riley. Over. Inclinations. Tension coiled Thomas, ex-Union scout, faced a hanging threat. Sir, Thomas said, voice iron, I fought for this land before you enlisted. Don't preach duty. Ellis flushed, but backed off. Just checking. They left. Thomas waited, then opened the hatch. 3 eyes met his trust forged. He'd chosen them over safety, igniting life after a decade dead. That night, the air crackled electric. Winona neared. You risked all. Right thing. Lila brought tea, fingers lingering. You're lonely. Kaya braided hair. We see it. Thomas glanced at Margaret's photo. Winona turned him. She's passed. When now? Walls crumbled 10, years dam burst. Rings slipped off, placed by photo not tossed, but released. What followed healed profoundly. Winona, commanding, taught surrender. Lila, tender, eased scars. Kaya, joyful, turned intimacy into revelry. In fireglow, Thomas wept, reborn heart vast for loves old and new. Morning broke cruel, storm gone. They stood at the door, clad for flight. Canada, Winona said. Family there. Thomas nodded, throat tight. On the mantle, photo and ring joined Lila's woven bracelet love's blend. Be happy, Kaya urged. I will, he vowed. They vanished into dawn, silhouettes eternal. 6 months on, a letter from Canada, scrawled English of weddings, births a boy named Thomas. He smiled, tucking it with Margaret's mementos. Transformation complete from grief's prisoner to life's embrace. What do you think, should Thomas have stayed true to his vow, or was opening his heart the right call? Share your take in the comments below. Stand your ground and let me know your views.